Before the world knew Bobby White as the creator of Sailing Doodles, he spent nearly 2 decades in the sky. As a corporate jet pilot based in Dallas, Texas, he flew Gulfstream aircraft across the world, shuttling clients between cities like Abuja and Dubai. It was a life built around freedom, adrenaline, and precision. But in September 2015, everything changed. After waking up with what seemed like a simple headache, Bobby realized something was wrong when he couldn't form clear words while texting. Within hours, doctors discovered he was suffering from a hemorrhagic stroke. He spent 11 days in a neuro ICU, undergoing multiple procedures before slowly recovering. The hardest blow came afterward. His medical clearance to fly was permanently revoked. At just 38 years old, his aviation career ended overnight. Searching for direction, Bobby briefly tried working in real estate, but the stress nearly overwhelmed him. During that low point, he stumbled onto YouTube's sailing channels. Watching couples explore the world by sea, the simplicity and adventure resonated with him. He made a decision that would transform his life. He sold most of what he owned and bought a 37-foot sailboat named Rough Seas. In October 2016, he left Galveston Bay with his 2 Labradoodles, Maverick and Goose, launching his YouTube channel Sailing Doodles as a way to cover expenses along the way. By mid-2017, Bobby had sailed through the Florida Keys, the Bahamas, and toward the U.S. Virgin Islands. His audience grew steadily, drawn to his honest storytelling and willingness to show both triumphs and mistakes. A buyer even expressed interest in purchasing Rough Seas, hinting at a fresh start. But fate intervened when Hurricane Maria ravaged Puerto Rico in September 2017. The storm crushed the boat, breaking the mast, cracking the hull, and flooding the interior. Insurance barely helped, and Bobby was forced to walk away from the vessel that had launched his new life. Despite the setback, adventure soon found him again. A fellow sailor invited him to help deliver a 50-foot boat, called White Squall, from Vancouver to Thailand. The months-long voyage took them through Mexico, French Polynesia, Tonga, Fiji, and finally Southeast Asia. Equipment broke constantly, and the journey tested everyone on board. But completing the passage boosted Bobby's channel and introduced him to Laura, a traveling ICU nurse he'd first met earlier in the Virgin Islands. She eventually joined the crew full-time. Her calm energy, medical background, and ability to bring order to life on board turned her into a fan favorite, and the two shared nearly 2 years of adventures together. Life at sea, however, carries its own pressures. Repairs never ended, filming was constant, and tiny living quarters strained the relationship. By 2020, Bobby and Laura parted ways quietly, without bitterness. She later launched her own channel, while Bobby continued sailing and creating content. But challenges kept coming. That same year, he faced a terrifying fire aboard his 56-foot catamaran Naughty Dogs near the North Carolina coast. A tangled anchor line caused mechanical failure that led to smoke and flames. The U.S. Coast Guard rescued him, but the boat suffered heavy damage. Shortly after, his beloved dog Maverick passed away, and Goose moved to Texas with Bobby's parents. In 2024, Bobby believed he had finally reached a turning point when he took delivery of his dream vessel, a custom Island Spirit 5-5E hybrid electric catamaran built in Thailand. Packed with modern systems, solar power, and lightweight construction, it represented everything he had worked toward. But disaster struck almost immediately. Fuel contamination forced an early stop. A suspected shaft seal problem allowed water into the drive system, and when the crew attempted to anchor near a river mouth, the anchor failed to hold. The boat washed ashore and was battered for 2 nights by violent surf. Saltwater destroyed electronics, batteries, and generators. Weeks later, salvors pulled it free, but marine surveyors declared it a total loss. As if that weren't enough, a tornado ripped through the boatyard where the wreck was stored, causing even more destruction. Through all the chaos, Bobby continued building Sailing Doodles into a major online presence. By 2025, the channel had surpassed 717,000 subscribers and hundreds of millions of views. Earnings from YouTube, brand collaborations, merch, Patreon supporters, and his podcast formed a reliable income. He began teaching courses on cruising and ocean crossings, sharing lessons learned from years of risk, repair, and reinvention. He also spoke at events such as fundraisers hosted by the Salty Dog Sailing Association, offering guidance to new sailors. Along the way, new crew members joined and departed: Megan, Taylor, Stephanie, Clarice, Evelyn, and others, sparking speculation across forums and Reddit threads. But Bobby continued moving forward. One of the most meaningful partnerships was with Amanda Zachary, who joined him again in 2023. Their chemistry won over viewers, and the pair sailed the Caribbean for more than a year. Yet in early 2025, they released a video titled "We're Splitting Up, Not Clickbait," explaining their decision. Bobby wanted stability and a home base, while Amanda preferred ongoing exploration. She launched her own channel, and Bobby returned to traveling mostly solo. Today, Bobby continues filming from the Bahamas while awaiting insurance decisions on his lost catamaran. He sails Naughty Dogs, exploring islands, visiting St. Martin, Colombia, and the U.S. East Coast, and occasionally chartering in Greece. At nearly 50 years old, he has become a storyteller shaped by storms, heartbreaks, survival, and the relentless pull of the ocean. Through every setback, he continues doing what saved him after the stroke, chasing the horizon, one episode of Sailing Doodles at a time.